Faith is the evidence of what you cannot see. So much for seeing is believing. Huh, folks? Faith is kind of like knowing where you want to go, but having to walk in the dark to get there.
You startled me.
I need to talk to you for just a moment, sir.
This really isn't a good time for me. I'm getting ready for a long trip.
This won't take but a moment, sir. I'm from the fire department. We've had reports of a forest fire in the area near here. So we're just asking the locals to move out for a while. Go visit some relatives or something. You know, get out of the way so we can do our job. You understand, don't you, sir?
A forest fire? But we're in the middle of the desert.
Well, okay, it's not a forest fire. It's just a burning bush. But to us in the desert, it's a forest fire. When you don't have that much vegetation to start with, you kind of want to protect what you got. Don't you think so?
I suppose. But you really have no reason to be concerned about that burning bush.
Is that so? What's your name, sir?
Moses.
Moses, huh? Tell me, Mr. Moses, just what do you do for a living?
Well, I'm a shepherd.
I see, a shepherd. And I suppose you feel that your experience in the area of sheep herding somehow gives you some sort of special knowledge about fire safety that a trained fire protection professional like myself couldn't possibly know.
That's not what I meant.
Look, buddy, I come from a long line of firefighters. My father was a firefighter, and so was his father, and so
All I was trying to say is that I've seen this burning bush, and believe me, it won't cause any harm.
You saw this burning bush?
Yes, I was watching my father-in-law's sheep when I came across it.
Did you see any kids playing with torches in the area?
The fire wasn't started by any man.
I wouldn't rule out arson so quickly if I were you, Moses.
The fire was fire from heaven.
Fire from heaven? Are you talking a Sodom and Gomorrah type of thing here?
No, nothing like that. The bush was on fire, but it didn't burn up. Somehow, God was in the flames of that burning bush, and He spoke to me.
The bush spoke to you?
Not the bush. It was God. He called me by name and told me to take off my shoes because I was standing on holy ground.
Slow down, sir. I'm still trying to figure out that part about the bush talking to you.
The Lord told me that He had heard the cries of His people held captive in Egypt, and that the time had come for them to be free. He said that I would be the one to lead them out of Egypt.
You?
I didn't believe Him at first either. I never considered myself to be a very good speaker. I didn't know how I would be able to convince the Pharaoh to release God's people. To be honest with you, I'm still a little unsure about it. But God showed me how He could help me to do amazing miracles to try and convince the Pharaoh to listen.
What sort of miracles?
Well, God told me to put my staff on the ground, and when I did, it changed into a snake. Then when I picked up the snake, it turned back into my staff.
Sounds like too much smoke inhalation to me, sir. People have been known to hallucinate when around fire and smoke for too long.
It wasn't a hallucination. It was the power of God.
Yeah. So, is that the trip you're getting ready for? You're heading off to Egypt?
Heading to Egypt to free God's people. God told me that my brother Aaron was already on the way to meet me there. He will help me speak to the Pharaoh.
Is he a pyromaniac too?
Look, I didn't set the bush on fire. God was speaking through that bush.
Well, I hope your trip goes well and all, but you sound like trouble to me, Mr. Moses, if that is your real name. I'm going to be keeping an eye on you. I mean, you shouldn't just go around talking to burning bushes. Didn't anyone ever tell you not to play with fire?
What can I say? When God talks, I listen.
All right, go and get ready for your trip. But I don't want to catch you someday out in the middle of the desert with a big pillar of fire or something like that. Got it?
You'll never know.